because the reason we chose this for the first spot is that it's really a good success story. 15 years ago, we did our comprehensive plan. The one we're doing now, we do it about every 10 or 15 years. It had the vision of we need to create a cultural West End, something that draws people west and into the downtown as a whole. So one of the ideas was, we used to have this great gathering place, this open space, this water feature in our downtown, and things happened. It wasn't quite as dramatic anymore. Let's breathe some life back into that. So 15 years ago, this plan said, rebirth, we need it. So then we said, okay, then we need to do a master plan. What does that really mean? Is it one of these, one of those, and how much does it cost? So we did a master plan that brought it to the next level of detail, and then people got inspired, where the Rotary Club stepped up and said, we get it, we see your vision, we're inspired, we're going to be the ones that bring our dollars to help the city make it happen. So it's really a great example of that transition from dreaming to now it's really here, and it's starting to spin off on all the things around Lake George. So a good example of why the comp plan is an important document. That brings us to the 5 new ideas in this comprehensive plan, and 2 of them we can see right from here. So building on all of this grand vision and what it's become, and the understanding that our downtown is thriving right now, we have employers that are bringing hundreds of employers at a time downtown. We need to build on that. People want to live next to downtown, and we want to keep bringing jobs downtown. So where would they live? We have one project downtown that's happening now. One of the ideas is, okay, this is an amenity you might want to live next to, right? You could go, you could recreate, you can see it, you can feel water. Everybody likes to be by water. So what if that block, just on the other side of the road, you see 4, 5, 6, 7 different houses there. Most of those are rentals right now. As you drive east on Division, you see this stretch of homes a long ways in the daylight, not in the dark tonight, but in the daylight. This is your sense of arrival into the downtown. If those 3 buildings were gone there, the backsides that we're seeing here just to the right, would those properties redevelop if they had this amenity where they could see clearly to it, they could walk to their jobs and all the things that are going on in the downtown? Would that be enough reason for someone to say, I'm going to live in downtown St. Cloud next to all these great assets that are around me? So that's really the vision of the one drawing that's in there, and you can look at it later, and the whole document is available online at stcloudplan.com. And it talks specifically about, well, how many units, what might be the renters or the folks that buy those units. So it takes that whole idea I just described into much more detail. Another one of the ideas is, again, as you drive east on Division and you look east into the downtown, what's your sense of arrival? Right now you see St. Mary's, a great asset. You see the library, but you see a parking lot in front of St. Mary's. Could that be something that's really an iconic structure that people say, I see that in St. Cloud? It maybe has a sexy name on the top of it that people, whoa, that name, they're here in St. Cloud? It can be that kind of a sense of arrival. So one of the other catalyst site drawings in there is the high ground on the Swan parking lot, which is just on the other side of the viaduct right next to St. Mary's. What could be that iconic building with a really dramatic name on top that has more employment in the downtown? Now, the challenge with that site is it's not easy. The challenge with that site is when you get in the low ground, you're essentially on the lake bed that was this lake. It continued all the way across this viaduct. When we rebuilt this viaduct just 5 years ago, we found that there was 20 feet of asphalt underneath the bridgeheads, because as it sank into the river bottom, the easiest solution was, well, let's lay another couple of feet of asphalt on top so you don't have to hit that big hump when you hit the bridge. So that was the solution, but it's a really good example of just how limited the ability to build on this portion of the site is. So what do we do in that transition? We make it easier for folks to get from what would be that big building to all of this that's going on around the lake. So those are 2 of the catalyst sites where we're talking about really new life, new vitality in the downtown. Hopefully those drawings are enough to really inspire someone to say, I'm going to bring my lots of money, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, we don't know, but a lot of money that someone's going to have to bring to the table, and the city should be there to assist them. And one of the ways that we can help that happen is when you come to us, we're already on the same page as a community, as a council, as a city administration, as a neighborhood. we're going to be there for you because we all love this vision. Developers are a lot more willing to come to my office and say, I'm going to come because it's easier, because everybody's already shared the vision. So that's really what the comprehensive plan is supposed to be. So, quick. And in the comprehensive plan, you see a lot of that discussion about our main gateways into the community. How do we make those better? Is it simple landscaping, either in the city right of way? Some stretches we've got medians that are really wide. Could we put some trees in there? The plan asks that question. Others say, should we require developers to put just some trees, some landscaping on their property? Right now our code doesn't require any landscaping. So those are some of the policy questions along those lines. How do you jazz up the gateways in? So we are really trying to do that through that movement. The crosswalks, we have painting in the crosswalks now. That's another small example of one way we're just trying to make those little wins that make a difference in the end. So yeah, we are trying to do those things because that's right. Industry's mobile, the economy's mobile these days. You have to be an attractive place that folks want to come to. If you're not, they'll move on to the next town down the road. So we realize that's a challenge. You have to be really sexy these days. You have to be dramatic. You have to be able to market yourself really well. So yeah, we know that's true.